I'm sorry, I'm Hanadi. This is Zoom as usual. So I think
Yes.
I'm trying to accept Rima because she is coming. I hope that Mariam and Sonia are going to come. Okay. In the meantime, I have to share the screen. Maybe again, Sonia and Mariam are coming. Okay, so let me show you now the meaning of truth is stranger than fiction. So let me open the dictionary and show you the exact meaning. If you want to say that the truth is stranger than fiction, real events, what is not arranged, is stranger than the events that are arranged. Okay? Do you get the meaning?
Yes.
So this is it. Sometimes if we don't arrange things, it will be better if we want to arrange them. So real events without arrangement sometimes are stranger than the made up ones. If you want to arrange or prepare some events or or events. So this is it. And this is the
يعني
meaning.
teacher same meaning as رب صدفة خير من ألف ميعاد.
برافو، يعني الإشي إذا صار
Okay.
بطبيعة حاله من دون ما نحن نحضر له أحيانا بيكون أغرب وأفضل من الإشي اللي نحن بنكون محضرين له. Thank you, Hanad. Yes, your meaning is really good. So this is it about this meaning, but sometimes a truth is stranger than fiction. And here I have to start a new chapter, and here I have to say lost the plot. And the first one, because I'm sorry, I have erased everything. In her good books. And finally, we have lines. So reading between the lines, I don't think that he's enthusiastic about the idea. So read between the lines. What does
The
read?
lines.
But what does that mean?
يعني نقرا between the lines يعني نفهم المعنى.
But what we
to
read, but what we want to
understand.
yes.
Exactly.
يعني to see what is not
Seen.
so
Clear.
Yeah, to
what
see
is
what.
not seen and
Yeah, I
to
love
read
it.
what is not
Exactly. So this is it. If you notice that, what is the difference between implicit or explicit meaning? Implicit is المعنى المخفي أو المتضمن.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what the sentence, or what does it mean from outside explicit. But sometimes I have to read to extract, the implicit meaning, not only the explicit meaning. So this is the meaning of read between the lines. Absolutely.
Can
If
you
we have,
repeat please
yes,
the
sometimes
difference
guys,
between implicit and explicit?
exactly. The different implicit is the hidden meaning,
Okay.
but explicit is the shown meaning, is the clear
Okay.
meaning.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So this
Thank
is
you.
it. For example, you are, or my friend is like a rat or bat. Absolutely, I don't mean bat as bat, but I mean something hidden, maybe evil or something like that. So this is it. If you have to read, you have to read between the lines, because maybe the reader is going to tell you something which is hidden, not clear, not easy to understand. Absolutely, you have to read carefully to know the hidden meaning. So this is about the idioms. And guys, if you want to master them, absolutely, you have to use them. Okay. Now, let's talk about the grammar spot that we have. If you notice, guys, we have, I think that this book is overrated. It's over long. And the characters are underdeveloped. The main character is under. Achiever with over. Achieve imagination, or sorry, overactive imagination, who is underperforming in a dead-end job. Notice, guys, that we have over and under. Over and under are prefixes. Do you know the meaning of a prefix?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So please, you have to be careful about using under and over, because in certain places they are completely different, or let me say the opposite. Now, what is the difference between over and under? Again, I'm talking about prefixes, and how can I use them correctly? Let me try to explain the difference between these two prefixes, because again, they are extremely important. Let's stop saying not all the time. And I think it's the time to start using prefixes, because it is one way to be professional. Again, not only in speaking, but also in writing. So let me show you the exact difference between over and under. Again, I'm not talking about if I want to use them alone, because I'm talking about prefixes. I mean, by prefixes, you have to use them with certain words, and the prefixes is using them at the beginning of a certain word. Okay. Now, let me tell you, when over is used as a prefix, keep in mind that it can mean excessively or too much. So over, the first meaning of over as a prefix, again, is too much. Absolutely, I have to show you some examples. Let's take a look at this example. This example is saying, if your luggage is too heavy when you weigh it at the airport, your bags are overweight. So notice that over, and notice that I used it as a prefix with weight, which means your bag or bags weigh too much. So this is an example about over. Let me show you another example. Notice the next example is saying, if you eat too much at a buffet and now your stomach hurts. Why? Because it may be because you overate. I need you to notice something, guys. Here, overate is a verb. Verb. And let me show you the part of the speech of the previous example, because it's not a verb. This is the meaning of overate. Absolutely, it means that you ate too much. So notice here that it means, over means as a prefix too much. And as I told you that overate, I used it, which is the past tense of overeat. And notice that overweight is an adjective. So again, if you want to use over as a prefix, you can use it as an adjective, and you can use it as a verb. And keep in mind, if you want to use it as a verb, please remember the present tense and the past tense. Okay, let me show you this example. Both these words show that something is really too much. Again, I'm talking about the meaning of over, which is too much. Let me read and let me show you. Your bags are too heavy. So you can notice that instead of saying your bags are too heavy, because this is a simple sentence, and I can, instead of saying I ate too much, so you can say overate. So, or was done too much. So this is the meaning, the first meaning of over, which is too much. And you notice that I can use it as an adjective, and I can use it as a verb. Again, we have this example, which is saying, I can't believe my team lost the league championship after we played such a great season. Okay, let me show you the next picture. And I guess we thought the final would be easy, so we were overconfident. So notice that overconfident. And here I used it as an adjective, which means too much confident. So it is the sentence or the word means we thought it would be easy to win, so we didn't train hard enough. As a result, absolutely we lost because we were overconfident. So this is a too much, which is, if you notice, I used it as an adjective. This is another example. Some people have actually died from overwork. So notice the prefix over and notice that work. So this is it. This is another example about overwork. Absolutely, I used it as a prefix. Okay, now keep in mind again that I said overwork as a noun. So you notice that I can use over to form adjectives, to form verbs, and to form nouns. It's not only for adjectives because some students think that it's only for adjectives. It isn't. So you notice that I can use it with all parts of the speech as adjective, as a verb, and even as a noun. And again, which means too much. This is another example. You notice that overwork here is a noun, and this is the same word, but I mean the verb now. So work hard, but be careful not to. Absolutely, after to, I have to use a verb. So not to overwork, not to work too much. So you notice that over means too much. But guys, sometimes using too much, this is something bad. So it is easy for you to use this prefix again as an adjective, verb, or maybe a noun. Okay, now let's talk about the second meaning of over. Over can also mean completely or maybe totally. Let me show you an example. Notice the example is saying, I was overjoyed. This is an adjective. So overjoyed, completely. I was completely happy when I found out that I won a free vacation. So this is like I said, I was completely happy. So instead of saying I was completely happy, like beginners, to be honest, it is easy for you to say that I was overjoyed. Okay, now let's talk about under. Keep in mind that under means below or maybe not enough. So now we are going to discuss the meaning of the prefix which is under. Notice I can say under a ground, which is below, under water again, which is below. So these words talk about a position or location. They mean below the ground, if I want to say absolutely underground. And if I want to say underwater, it is below the surface of the water. So you notice that here under means below. Okay. Now, let me give you a few more examples about how to use under as a prefix absolutely now, which means not enough. Take a look at this example. This example is saying, I'm going to send this hamburger back. Why? Because it's undercooked. It's not cooked enough. So not cooked enough. It's not cooked very well. So instead of saying because this hamburger not cooked enough, you can say that it is undercooked. Keep in mind that this course, guys, again, is about advanced. Absolutely, you have to be advanced as much as you can. This is another example, which is saying Peter applied for a new job, but he was underqualified, not qualified enough. So Peter doesn't have enough qualifications for the job. So he wasn't enough qualified. Instead of saying this normal or simple sentence, it is easy for you to say underqualified, which is not enough qualified. This is another example, which is saying, I think that Batman against Superman was a good movie. It's underrated, in my opinion. So it's as if that I'm saying people are unfairly judging this movie. So underweighted, as we noticed the example in our book, not weighted enough. So instead of saying not weighted enough, it is easy for you again to use under. So if you notice that undercooked, underqualified, underweighted, all of them are adjectives. Okay, so take a look at this example. It was the same, but now I have to use under. Notice that I can say I am, or I have to say yes, I am overworked. This is with over. Why? Because maybe sometimes if I want to say that and underpaid. So notice over and under, which are the opposite. So overworked, but underpaid. As I told you too much, this is the meaning of over, not enough. This is the meaning of under. So working too much work, but not enough money. So these two examples are talking about the opposite because absolutely over is the opposite of under. So this is it, the difference between over and under. Please, you have to try to use them. Plus the idioms that we have to discuss. Keep in mind that over, I can use it with nouns, adjectives, and verbs, not only adjectives, because most of the students think that I can use some prefixes only for adjectives, and absolutely it is wrong. Okay?
Okay.
So I think this is it for today, and absolutely tomorrow we are going to start discussing the topics about books. If you have any questions about the collocations or maybe the grammar spot, absolutely with under and over, you can ask me if you like. Do you have any questions?
For example, we can
Hmm.
say under expectation.
Yes, amazing. I love this example. Under expectation.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
It's a good example. I will manage, guys, a small quiz if I can tomorrow just to practice using under and over.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
I want to ask you if you can send us this book as a
Holy
PDF
God,
file.
I did, didn't I?
No.
Oh, no, I think I did. I've sent it in the beginning of the course to Dr. Aisha. But don't worry, I'm going to send it again. Holy God, no, you have to have this book. Okay, I'm going to send it now.
Okay,
Don't worry.
thank you.
Yes, I
Thank
will.
you.
Okay, thank you again, and I have
And
to wish a good night.
if we forget something, we will ask you again.
Please don't
Yes.
hesitate to ask me because
Okay.
I'm here just to help you.
Okay.
And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Seeing the sessions, we have a link or not?
Let me confess something. If you remember previously, the last class, we have been managing the class using Google Meet. And unconsciously, I noticed that I didn't record the meeting. I'm sorry.
The last
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I
But
didn't. I
tell us.
forgot. I totally forgot because I used to get it automatically, but because this time I didn't notice that I wasn't
It's
recording.
okay for one session.
So please, you have to forgive me.
It's
Okay, for
okay.
the another sessions.
No, all of them are recorded except for the previous one, which was with Google Meet, if you remember.
Okay,
Yes.
but how we can accede?
Reach.
Absolutely. I'm going to upload the videos on the channel YouTube, and I'm going to send
Okay,
the links to Dr. Aisha, and absolutely, Dr. Aisha is
fine.
going to
Yes.
send it back
Okay.
to you.
It's
Okay,
good.
thank you.
It's good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have to thank you, and I'm going to send the book now. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you, guys, and I have to wish a good night for you. Bye, 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 bye.
Good night also for
Bye.
you all.
Bye.
Bye bye.